clean the screen. Got the fingerprints all over it. But what's up, guys? Thanks for watching. So, doing a little pre-lift live. Wasn't able to make it to the dungeon today, but we're gonna do Sunday's heavy lift today, so it'll be good. Yeah, it should be very good. But yeah, we're gonna wait a little bit, let some people hop on before we start diving into all the good stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be a good day of training. Gonna do some pronation, some riser, some elbow flexor. Those will be the big three today. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Let's see. What's up, Josh? He says, yo, already in Maryland, waiting for the venue to open to set up. What's in Maryland again? What's going on down there? I feel like we just talked about it, but what's going on down in Maryland, Josh? What's up, Brian? What's up, Sayla? Good to see you. I'm not gonna be able to make it to the dungeon today, so I'm gonna do tomorrow's lift today. So I'm not gonna go heavy tomorrow, but you guys are definitely more than welcome to go heavy. Dan, what's up, Dan? He says, you training in PA today? No, I'm not able to make it. My ride is down right now. So it's gonna be a labyrinth day. Let's see. Josh says Cuban muscle crisis. I think I saw something on Facebook. I don't know if we talked about it, but who's that's 98. Isn't that a 98 tournament? Or is that a James Reed tournament? Or maybe they're working together. Yeah, it should be a good one. Brian says, awesome name for a comp. That's a good one. Dan says, damn. Oh, I got a hard time with the Polish names. Let's see. That's a tough one. Let's call him, I'm going to call him Siebert. I don't know if I can say that first name, but hey, man, thanks for watching from Poland. We got a guy from Poland on the team. We call him Bo, the Bo-dozer. Josh is one of the franchises. Dance is heading there now. Yeah, it should be a good practice down in PA. Storm is there. Paulin, I don't think he'll be there because he's got those new dogs he's taking care of. Salis says that recovery workout was nice Thursday night. My core is absolutely decimated from those on the ground things you had us do. Oh, good. Yeah, it was a good workout. It was a good recovery workout. I felt pretty good after it too. I don't even know what I call those. I call those floor ab twist or something. If you want to get real technical, the prone is like a way of saying on your back for exercise. So prone ab twist, but on the ground ab twist work. Some type of ab twist. Brian says iron crosses. Yeah, that works. That's a good one. Definitely build some iron abs, Uh, 'cause, 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 ' So Dan says, getting ready for the Monster Factory, coming up to the dungeon next. All right, you got a match at a Monster Factory, or I saw something about a big practice with him and Pavlo. You got a match, or you going down for the big practice? But either way, it sounds fun. Yeah, man, and you're more than welcome to you know, check out hit the dungeon again. I don't know if you've ever been there before, but if you haven't, you're more than welcome to. It's good training. Um, what's up, Laurel? She says, "Good morning, Nick. It's a good morning. It's nice and sunny. It's gonna be a good day. You know, after this live, I'm gonna do a heavy lift in the labyrinth. But we'll see. Yeah, maybe I got the camera charging right now. I mean the whatever it's called, the gyroscopic stabilizer camera. I forgot what the abbreviation was. But I got it charging either way. I got it charging. Let's see. Dan says, "Yes, sir. Got a match at the factory, November 29th. Oh, very nice, man. Very nice. Who you pulling? Who's your opponent?" Josh says, "All right, Nick, got to roll and set up the live stream." All right, man. Good luck. Good luck with the tournament. Hopefully, it goes well. Let's see. Laurel says, "Must be cold for you." Yeah, I mean it's a little chilly. It's maybe 45 or 50 or something. Nothing too crazy. How about you? How's the temperature where you're from, Laurel? Let's see. Dan says versus Jake Houston. I'm not sure if I know who he is. Maybe if I've seen a picture, but I'm not sure if I if I know him. I'm not super familiar with the lighter classes, but maybe if I saw a picture, I'd probably see him. Josh says gimbal. Oh, yep, that's the abbreviation for the gyroscopic stabilizer camera. But I appreciate that. So this is Laura. I do believe it's about 46 degrees for us currently. Yeah, that's probably about right. And Laurel says it's like in the 80s right now. Oh, nice. Where are you from? That it's 80 right now. Wait, like Arizona? Oh, Houston, Texas. I was just about to guess Arizona. Houston, Texas. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm pretty sure they got a pretty good arm wrestling community down in Houston, Texas. I think I've seen some teams and stuff like that from on videos and stuff. Let's see. Dan says, "Gotta run, but have a great day, bro." Oh, I appreciate that, man. You too. Good luck at Storms. Should be some good training. So Laurel says, "My friend Henry used to do arm wrestling." Oh, very nice. Hopefully, how come he stopped? Is just was there an injury or did just kind of happened? But it's a fun time, maybe even there's even the ladies side of the sport is growing, so maybe it's time for you to try it out if you're interested in trying out the sport of arm wrestling. But it's a pretty interesting sport, you know, and it is a sport no matter what people say. So Laurel says he is pursuing acting. Oh, I can see that. I think acting probably has better paychecks. I would think. But that's cool. That's cool. Hopefully he gets in some good movies. Laurel says, yes, I agree. All right. So what do you guys want to talk about? This one's pretty open. I mean, I'm just didn't even start drinking the pre-workout. I got the little homemade one today. Speaking of pre-workouts, I forgot to do the hashtags and all that stuff, but usually I'm pretty good at it. Let's see. Sailor says, every time I tell someone I'm an arm wrestler, the response is always the same. That's a real thing? Yep, that's a real thing. I was one of those people when I first heard about it. I didn't know it was a real thing either. But it definitely is a real thing. There's people out there that spend a lot of time trying to get better at arm wrestling. Laurel says, that's it. That's it. Brian Johnson, what's up, Brian? Says, hello, Earthlings. I've been busy, but I stopped in to say hey, chilling and preparing for the evening's practice, working to get my golden turtle, 154 pounds. Oh, yes, it shall be mine. All right, Brian. That Mount Everest, that personal Mount Everest, it's going to be a challenge, but it's doable. It's definitely doable, man. And there's only one place on Earth to get a golden turtle, and that is the Turtle Man Classic. It's going to be Turtle Man 3. We don't have a date set, but it's going to be next year, which is coming up quick. Let's see. Brian says, I want to try that homemade pre, bro. Yeah, I can make you one. I think I'm out of lemons, though, so you're going to have to, if you swing over tomorrow, bring some lemons if you got them, because I can make one for you if you want to try it. Brian Johnson says, oh, it's real. Ask my left arm today, lol. Sore but not injured. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's kind of right where you want to be. Sore but not injured, so you can, heal and get stronger. Brian says to Brian, you have two arms, question mark. Why shoot for only one? Question mark. Exclamation point. It's a good question. Laurel says, LOL. You didn't read the comment before saying that is it. Maybe I didn't. I'll scroll up. Oh, you're right. I didn't. She says, I like wrestling and watching it. Oh, nice. Nice. That makes sense. Let's see. Just checking the comments. Brian says, I'll do that. Oh, good. I usually put two lemons, squeeze them, and put 2 lemons worth of juice in it. So 2 lemons should be enough. Unless Sailor wants one too, then we're going to need 4 lemons. Just gotta watch out for the lemon seeds, because there's a whole bunch of lemon seeds in there. Um, let's see, what time is it? It's almost 10 o'clock. It's almost 10 o'clock. Sailor says 4 lemons. Very true. That's what will be needed for 2 extra homemade energy drinks. There's nothing too crazy in them. I mean, the craziest thing is just the caffeine, probably. But there's some collagen and some honey, some caffeine, and then the vitamin C from the lemons. It's a good pre-workout for your tendons. The vitamin C is good for your tendons. Keep them, help keep them elastic. It also helps with collagen synthesis and stuff like that. And for an arm wrestler, that's pretty important because it's a very heavy joint sport. Joint strength is very important for arm wrestling. Let's see. Brian Johnson says, my buddy has a honey business. I get hooked up with local honey. Royal jelly, I believe, is a cheat code for arm wrestling recovery. My opinion, but it is something I take in my mornings. What's the royal jelly? That's the honey that is fed to the queen, right? Isn't that the one that's fed to the baby queens, isn't it? The royal honey. But yeah, you got to think there's some there's some kind of special benefits from that special honey. Then Brian says, good advice, Nick. And he says, yep, the good stuff. Yeah, it's the good stuff. I got a buddy too who's he's a little further away. He's in Massachusetts, so it's pretty it's pretty good distance from me. But Fitzy, James Fitzsimmons, he's got a honey business too. He's got a whole bunch of bee hives in his yard. I think just recently, I think his basement is filled with I think over 1 ton of honey, or maybe 2 tons. I mean, that's a lot of honey from those little bees, Brian Johnson says, I also mix bee pollen in my cereals. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. I didn't know bees had pollen. Is it like the pollen from the flowers, or is it actually coming from the bees? Sailor says, I gotta take off. Getting a haircut today. See you tomorrow. Yep, see you tomorrow. Or else you're off the team. I know it's never fun kicking someone off the team, but rules are rules. I didn't make them. I didn't make the rules, but rules are rules. But yeah, either way, enjoy the haircut, and we'll see you and Brian tomorrow. So YouTube, I don't know if you guys could see it or not, but YouTube like has these things pop up on my screen. It says, "Ask this question," and it says, "What was the question?" It disappeared, but it says, "Are you guys watching from home today?" I think most people probably are, but Brian Johnson says bee pollen has lots of kick for energy. I got a bolt too. Saturday chores calling. Good stuff, Nick. Oh, I appreciate you watching, man. Good luck with the chores. Um, and maybe we'll see you next time. Um, and Brian Johnson says Northern New York here. Northern New York representing. That's good. That's good. We got a good amount of people in the chat so far. We got some people from Poland. I think that's it so far. Poland and then the states, the good old states. Brian says, "See you soon." See you soon, man. I appreciate you watching, hanging out. Um, Brian says maybe he knows Alex. He means Brian Johnson from Northern New York. Maybe. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but Brian Johnson, do you know Alex Alexander, aka our Russian spy? I don't know if he does, because I think the New York that Alex goes to is um, not that. I think Brian Johnson is near Canada, and I think the New York that Alex goes to is more near. Let's see, I can't remember where it's. I've been there one time years ago, and I think it's definitely south, way south. So he might be like 5 6 hours away. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm wrong though. But that's good though. Let's see. I can't see. My phone's a little cracked, so I can't see how many people we got in the chat. But how many people do we have in the chat? Yeah, it's definitely getting worse, because I used to be able to see the number of thumbs up, but now I can't see it anymore. But the phone's still working. The phone's still working. Um, Surprisingly, because at one point, the phone melted. I don't know if you saw that picture from, I think it was yesterday, maybe, the picture of that phone charger, but that was a phone charger that was plugged into this phone, and I don't know exactly what happened, but the charge made like a little mini arc weld, and kind of, pretty much it melted the phone and melted the charger. The charging port was completely melted solid, like all the plastic melted over the charging hole. I was able to cut it out with a knife, and surprisingly, it still works. Once it cooled down, it still worked. um, but not that charger. That charger did not work. Um, but it's a funny story now. It's a funny story now. I think I'm gonna try to do the heavy lift live. I think, um, but let me be upfront with it. If I feel like it's starting to take away from the workout, I'm just gonna turn it off. I'm gonna try though, set it up so where um, it'll be simple. Shouldn't take too much time, but I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna give it a go. I got a question for you guys. Let's see. How do I phrase this? Brian says 4 in the chat, 7 likes. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Good old lucky 4 and good old lucky 7. But I appreciate you guys watching and hitting that thumbs up button because it definitely helps the old YouTube algorithm or whatever the hell it's called. Um, but the question I was let's see. The question is, what do you guys think is the if you had to describe the best type of arm wrestling fan there is, how would you guys describe the best type of arm wrestling fan? Like if you had to, pick one quality that would. Now that's a tricky question. Like the best arm wrestling fan, I mean, like, what I would, if I had to answer that question myself, I would say the best arm wrestling fan would be the someone that generally enjoys the sport, generally enjoys that could be it. Enjoys the sport and enjoys to see the sport grow. Um, maybe that's what I would say. The best type of fan is someone that enjoys to see the sport uh, grow and move forward. Um, Brian says, "Ones with money." LOL. Those could be the best type of fans. You could be onto something, Brian. You could definitely be onto something. Um, that's funny, but you do have a point. You do have a point. That's why the NFL and the NBA and the MLB are so doing so good and successful. It's because of all the fans are buying tickets and they're buying merchandise and they're buying the whatever the subscription to watch the sport on their TV. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think arm wrestling is definitely on its way there. I mean, I think it's not gonna be um, super fast. I don't think, but I definitely think from when I started to now, I do see a big change in terms of let's see, in terms of I think it's getting more popular. There's more promotions out there. There's more pay-per-views out there, which means that there's more people out there that are um, buying the pay-per-views and stuff like that. Brian says second answer is American fans. Now, why? Let's see. I agree with you. Because I like the American fans too. But why would you say the American fans are the best fans, Brian? Is it um, the intensity, the atmosphere they bring? Um, is it they're more interactive with the match? Like cheering and kind of like the baseball when people are screaming at the opposite team's pitcher. You know what I mean? Try to put pressure on them and stuff. Brian says we need more of them, and yeah, loud intensity atmosphere. And he says even Ingen said something about that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. The Americans bring the intensity. Um, what about if we had to bring it back to what you said at the beginning with money? Like, remember you said the best fan is the people with big money. Which where do you think the promotions make more money in terms of or profit in terms of like do you think more promotions make the big promotions the like East versus West, King of the Table, those the big ones, do you think they make more money when they do a promotion in the states, or do you think they make more money when they do a promotion overseas? Because there's lots of factors, like cost of the venue and travel of the athletes. There's lots of factors. But say if those factors were somehow, even, and the only thing we were going off of was what the fans, like normal seats, VIPs, and merchandise. Which fans do you think would be more likely to spend more? I guess if that question makes sense. But yeah, it's a tricky question because there's so many factors, But if somehow they were all the same except for just the different fans, what would you think? Brian says that's an interesting one because cost to do it here is probably a lot more. It could be. I think it depends on where. Like I bet if you're in Las Vegas, I bet it's pretty pricey. Atlantic City is probably pretty pricey too. It's probably way less than Vegas, but it's probably still pricey. Um, that is interesting. Yeah, because I think that's interesting. And And Brian says, also, do they pay all the athletes in U.S. dollar or just U.S. athletes? The rest get rubles. LO. um, I would definitely like to get paid in American money. You know, that's definitely one of my requirements when if I compete anywhere out of the states is American money. Um, but that's interesting. I guess if they could pay him in like Monopoly money, that could definitely be a big budget saver. You know, that's interesting. Brian says you come back and they're like, okay, you got $57. Oh well, $57 and don't go spending it all on one place. Hey, $57. That's like one Uber ride one way. But it's very interesting. But let's see. Brian says, "Yep, home from the airport. If you're lucky, if you're lucky, you can make it to the airport, but then you gotta get the ticket. You know." But one thing I do know for sure is Tuesday. I on practice Tuesday at practice. I plan on going extremely, extremely hard. So keep that in mind, guys. Tuesday I'm gonna train extremely hard. Um, I also think I'm gonna make it. I don't know how. See, I gotta. Let's see. Sometimes it gets tricky, because there's uh, different levels and sizes to people on the Connecticut team. But we do stuff like with the bully strap and stuff like that. But I definitely, I want to make sure that people on the team get what they need too. But I was thinking it might be a one table day, if that, you know what I mean by that. When I might take the two tables. I might just, we have three tables in labs right now. I might take two of them and just throw them right outside, leave one in there. And I think we're just going to do full practice, uh, you know, last, like King of the Hill kind of thing, nonstop King of the Hill. Um, we'll do something like where I'll pull a little bit and then someone will put the bully strap on. If they beat me in the bully strap, they'll take the spot without the bully strap to have matches, and we'll do something like that. Um, yeah, because I know people on the team are getting ready for a tournament too, so I want to make sure everyone that is making the trip to Tuesday gets what they need. So we're gonna find a way for everyone to train hard and get what they need. Um, let's see. Brian says, I think it was a good last time. When you go that hard, you need a couple minutes in between. Oh, good, good. I definitely agree. And if I should remember, but if I do forget for some reason, remind me that blue foam that I have. Were you talking about that leather strap from the old Postman shoulder strap? We definitely try that out. But if you don't have it set up yet, we'll do the foam. Um, put the foam on the back of the bully strap. Will help, spread some force so that bully strap isn't, digging in as much. But let's see. Brian says, my elbows and brachialis got plenty of work, wrist and hand, everything. That's good. That's good. I'm glad. You know, I just had an interesting thought about the bully strap. I wonder if the bully strap trains your brain somehow to stay like, how the bully strap keeps you locked no matter what. Um, so I wonder if somehow that translates over into like the brain and the nervous system to when you're, when you take the bully strap off, when you start pulling, your body wants to stay super tight. I don't know if not, but kind of like let's see. I don't know if you guys ever play baseball, but like people or you know people put like if someone has a problem with their swing, they'll put like a little medicine ball something in a certain spot, and they'll have to hold it there, and then they'll do reps like that, and then when they get rid of the ball, they'll bring the swing back, and it's better. So maybe it could be something like that. So Corcus says, hello from Athens, buddy. What's up, man? Thanks for watching. Athens, Greece. That's what you're talking about, right? But I think I remember your name. I think we were talking before, if I'm not mistaken. Brian says, I got to get some of that webbing and have it sewn up. You know who's good at sewing? Mike is pretty good at sewing. He's actually the guy that made our bully strap. He made all those multi spinners. And I think he was using high test, like deep sea fishing wire to sew. So it's pretty strong stuff. Kaylin, what's up, Kaylin? She says, let's go, Nick. Bully strap, hashtag game changer. It definitely is. Definitely is. I got that from Chief. That's one of the many things I got from the High Chief, the bully strap. Kaylin says, at the gym, 2 hours lift before swim. Get that volume in again. Been a few days. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're at the gym, getting a good lift in. But it should be good. It should be a good time, Get the gains, Brian says it trains me to commit back for sure. It definitely does. I want to figure out a way to add a little bit of side pressure. So, if there's a way that instead of committing so much back, with the bully strap this way, you can go a little bit more this way, if that makes sense. You're still gonna have to do the similar thing, but you'll be able to apply a little bit more side position possibly. It's very interesting. I also do want to find another way to make the hand more accessible for the person in the bully strap. Right now, with the setup we use, it's very good at mimicking a low hand top roll because it makes the thumb the high point and unable to lose its pronation unless you kind of lift the person up. Corcus says Athens, Greece. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. So we got people from Greece today, people from Poland. We got people from all over the United States. Galen says Greece in the house, definitely in the house. And then she also says, "Hail the High Chief." He's the High Chief. He got the. He can't. You got to earn that name. It's not given. It's a real. It's like a title. there's requirements like you have to have a certain length ponytail too. That's a requirement. The ponytail has to be a certain length in order to to keep the high chief title. You need a certain amount of world championships. I think it's like 50. I think 50 is the minimum. um, what else do you guys want to talk about? Any questions or any topics you guys want to talk about? I'm probably gonna hop off here soon. So, if there's any final questions, let me know. Or any topics, any big matches coming up. Brian says so many titles, he gives them away. He's talking about the High Chief. Yeah, literally, he gives them away. He's been known to give away trophies. If there's a little kid at a tournament, he'll give the kid that big trophy. Because he only has two hands, so he can only carry so many hands. Brian says you hear about the East versus West round robin. I have not. Who's in it? Who's in the round robin? That's very interesting. Now, my first thought when I hear round robin, it's probably a long shot, but I would like to see Levon, Vitali, Jerry, and Michael in a round robin. Well, hold on. Levon, Jerry, Devin, and Michael. Michael or Hermes. Maybe Hermes. I'd like to see a round robin between those four. That's probably a long shot, but that would be very interesting. Brian says, "Yep, they're talking about putting a four-man. Are those the four names I said? Are those the four people they were talking about having a round robin? Because if that's true, that could be that might be the biggest match. Maybe not match, biggest, most anticipated arm wrestling event. It could be. But who's the four people? Is that the four people, or they don't have four people in yet? Let's see. Kaylin says, Nick, I had an idea about a team of 10 men team and versus 10 men team. First guy face each other, and the person that wins one round stays, and the other team second team person number two comes in. Oh, I see what you're saying. So then she says, similar to your 3 versus 1 and King of the Table variation. That could be interesting. That could very well be interesting. Yes, that could be fun. 10 on 10 and single elimination or best of 3 or something. So could be a lot of situations. It could be like one team gets a big lead. The first guy knocks out 2 or 3. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. there's gonna have to be like a team weight limit or something, to try to make the teams even. We'll have to have like you know, a team weight limit, if that makes sense, or number of weight classes in each team. Kaylin says, Nick, glad you get my idea. James Clark gang versus the other team. Yeah, I don't think James Clark has uh I mean, I don't. I think he's having. I don't think he has that many people on his team right now. I think he's got a smaller team, so he might have a hard time getting 10 people. But we could, if he wants to be a captain or something, we could definitely build him a team. Um, Carolyn says, Nick, good call. One weight class, yes. Oh, okay. So I see. So it'd be 10 people that are 220, or for example, versus 10 people that are 220. Um, that could be interesting. And then Carolyn says, yes, the team could pre-hype their matches. Definitely could. We got 20 people hyping up the matches. Carolyn says, Nick, right, I used him as an example. Such a great dude and athlete superstar. Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. James is super strong. Um, he just needs to stay healthy and maybe a few more teammates. Because I think he's. I don't know if he's has anybody within under 3 hours to him. If I'm not mistaken. Because I remember last time I was talking, he said he didn't have too many practices near him. That's why he goes to Fitzy's, but he has to take a boat to Fitzy's. Wolfie, what's up, man? What's up, man? Long time no see. Welcome back. I'm probably gonna hop off soon, but if there's anything you guys want to talk about, let me know. Let's see, it is 10:32. So yeah, I'm gonna hop off soon. I'm gonna try to film the heavy lift, but like I said before, if I feel like it's taken away from the lift, I'll probably just turn it off and finish the lift. Kaylin says, I see Nick. Wow, take a boat. Dang. His story is the thing of legends. Definitely true. Because personally, I'm not a fan of boats. And I definitely wouldn't want my car on a boat either. But that's the only way he can get off the island is with a boat. You know, um, I don't even know if there's a bridge on the island that he's on. Uh, let's see. Wolfie says, I'm always here in the lives. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you hanging out with us. Kaylin says, okay, have a great day, Nick, and all. Well, I appreciate that, Carolyn. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your workout. Wolfie says, and in your walls. I'm not sure what you mean by that. In the walls? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Carolyn says, me too. AFK. What's AFK stand for? Yeah, I'm not sure what AFK stands for. And then she says, lifts come first, but I definitely agree with that. but with that the new gimbal thing, it should be not, should be pretty easy. Brian says just set the camera up in the back so you don't have to touch it. Yeah, I'll probably do something like that. I'm also gonna shut the doors today for this lift, so if you guys know what that means, it's gonna be a good one. We don't want no innocent, UPS driver walking into the workout and getting blindsided by, dumbbells or something. Okay, Ellen says, James the Viking Clark. Very true, very true. He might like that nickname. He might like it. It might stick. Carolyn says, Eolofy? I'm not sure what that is either. Eolofy? Eolfy? I'm not sure what that is, but she says, wow, I was listening after the fact and enjoying. I'm not sure what that is. EOLFT? Wolfie says, I'm in your walls, LOL. Well, be careful in there. There's some other people in there too, Renters. We call them renters. Brian says, away from keyboard. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Yep. Now Kalen says, my bad. Away from keyboard. Yep. I see. That was a new one for me. I don't think I've ever seen that. Brian says, the flying junkyard handle. Definitely. The old junkyard handle. It's definitely it's holding true. Kalen says Wolfie. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Wolfie, not right now, Wolfie. I gotta remember we talked yesterday. My phone is messed up. I can't see the mod button. But maybe in the future. Brian says I only know that because of Cases Gaming. Oh, Casey's. Oh, I've been so. I think everything's a typo, and that's it. That's not a typo. It's Casey's. Um, I've never seen it spelled like that before. I don't think. But yeah, I could definitely see that. So there is some benefits to video games. You learn some new words. Let's see. Wolfie says you can't read. LOL. Well, we're working on it. Little by little. That's why I started doing these lives. Because it's good practice. It's good practice. The only way to get better is to practice. So yeah, we'll get there. Fishing Patriot says reading's overrated. Haha. It definitely is. Especially now. You just need what if the AI will do it? AI will read everything for you. But I think it's just I'm getting so used to reading typos that when I see something that's not a typo, I'm trying to figure out what the typo is. Let's see. Wolfie says, it is, though. And then Fishing Patriot says, I'd rather be good at arm wrestling than be good at reading. Definitely true. Definitely true. Because you could like fake read a book, you know what I mean? You could fake read a book, but you can't really fake arm wrestle, you know? So that's gotta mean something. Wolfie says same here. Good, that's good. That's good. Um more lemon seeds. Wolfie says, I do kickboxing. Ah, very nice. Very nice. That's always fun. Some kickboxing is always fun. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna probably hop off in a few minutes. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Wolfie says, "How is the car?" It's still same problem, but we're getting closer. Every day we're getting a little closer. Soon we'll have the Black Pearl running again. Um, yeah, it'll be good. Wolfie says, "Nice." Oh, good. Yeah, it'll, it'll definitely be running again. You know, it's a nice car. It's been pretty reliable because I've owned it for let's see, I think almost 10 years. I think, and this is only the second time something has happened. Um, you know, besides tires and oil changes and I think a tune-up. You know, I haven't had to put anything else into the car except for one. The first time was a smaller fuel pump. I think this time it's the bigger fuel pump, but we'll see. Wolfie says, "Let's hope we can get good old Blackie running again. It's only a matter of time, you know." Kaylin says, "Are you all set with a ride to Dungeon Nick?" No, I wasn't able to get a ride. I was gonna get I wasn't even able to get a rental car because um, they just didn't have anything, or the place that had cars, they didn't have the service. Like usually, sometimes a rental car will like they'll pick you up and drop you off, kind of thing. The one that had cars didn't have that, and they only had I can't remember what car it was, but I think it was like $200 a day or something. It was like a sports car, but that's all right. You know, that's all right. So we're gonna do tomorrow's training today. Um, so it'll be good. It'll be good. Um, but yeah, this is the first Saturday in years that I'm not arm wrestling, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Wolfie says, "What car are you in?" I'm in the Chrysler, the car that's. I mean, it will run, but I have to keep my foot on the gas, and when if I try to shift it into gear, it stalls out. But yeah, it's a Chrysler. It's a Chrysler. Brian says, "Yeah, you went in a blizzard." Yeah, I definitely did. It was just me and Chief that day. And the funny thing is, Chief, when I pull in, he goes, "I knew you'd be here." And no one else, just me and Chief. We had some good training. We did some bully strapping and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, the Chrysler is surprisingly really good in the snow. As long as you have to turn off the traction control. The traction control is terrible in the snow, so you have to turn it off. But yeah, it's great in the snow. It's heavy. It's got all wheel drive. You know. Um, Wolfie says okay, and then what is that? A emoji of a was that a baby with a wrapped up or something? Or is that a lemon with eyes or something? I can't even see what that is. I just it looks like a little emoji of it's either a baby or a lemon head. Uh-oh. Wolfie says my grandma is yelling at me. LOL. Well, you gotta listen to grandma. You gotta listen to grandma. You know. But let's see. But all right, guys. I think we're gonna end it there. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll if you decide to watch, we're gonna do in a little bit. We're gonna do a live again for the lift. Uh, but keep in mind, I won't be doing too much talking. But we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.